Yo, what is going on, guys? Comtos has just released the information about the new Beast Riders. These are the new 5-star monsters that they announced that we were expecting to see later on during December, but they brought it out pretty much straight after they announced the image. So what this video is going to be about, guys, is us going through this patch details, talking about each monster or each element of this Beast Rider, and giving you guys my ideas on how they can be used, where they can be implemented, and if they're actually worthwhile hunting for lack of a better choice of words, considering the Beast Riders. Anyway, so let's go through each of these elements and let's talk about each of their skills. Let's get our head around what they actually do and how they apply to the current meta. So let's start off with the fire one. Spear Protector. Attacks the enemies to decrease the attack speed for 2 turns with a 30% chance. The faster your attack speed compared to the enemies, the greater damage you can inflict. Okay. So it's an attack scaling first skill. More speed you have than the enemy, more damage you do, and it decreases their attack speed by for 2 turns with a 30% chance. Okay, so that's not too bad. Fast Link, second skill. The faster your attack speed, the greater the damage becomes. Attacks the enemy with the beast 2 times. The beast attack weakens the enemy's defense for 1 turn. And the rider's attack absorbs the enemy's attack bar by 25% for each harmful effect granted on the target, up to 100%. So absorbs the enemy for each harmful effect granted. Okay, so if they've already got multiple debuffs on them, and then you do this second skill, you can actually absorb their entire attack bar and then get another turn. So if defense breaks, you can almost go straight into a first skill. Okay. So the third skill is the passive Wild Steps. The attack bar increases skill effects granted on yourself, increases by 50%, and the attack bar decreasing skills effect granted on yourself decreases by 50%. So any attack bar increasing skill gives you an extra 50%. Only decreasing attack bar skills reduces by 50%. So Bernard's boost of 30% will become 45%, and so on. So if you get pushed back by Lauren, let's say it's 20%, is now only 10%. Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty cool. Interesting concept. I think they need more monsters that do that. So this is a pretty good start. Also, your attack speed increases by 15% whenever your attack bar increases due to skills, up to 5 times. So it can scale 5 extra times. Whenever your attack bar increases due to skills, it gets an additional 15% attack speed. That is actually not too bad. So that means whenever Verd does a skill, it gives you attack bar, boom, 15% extra attack speed. And then all it does is scale with your damage skills as well, your first and second skills. So that's actually pretty insane. So it's probably going to be it is an attack type monster, as we can see. It's going to be scaling off a lot of speed. A lot of the builds we're probably going to see around this monster is probably going to be like speed, crit damage, attack, speed, crit damage, HP. Most likely swift. Or violent, depending on how you want to run it. Pretty interesting concept. Anyway, so Rider, the next skill. Dismounts the beast to battle when you're inflicted with damage that may cause you to die. Okay, so you start on the beast, and if you die, you end up without the beast. Okay, so the beast pretty much dies for you. Alright, so you end up in the second life form. It's like Perna Revive, but not like a different set of skills by the looks of it. So Spear Protector. Reading the skills looks exactly the same as the first skill, so that hasn't changed. Fast Spear Throw, though, is different to Fast Link. The faster your attack speed, the greater the damage becomes. Attacks the enemies to absorb the enemy's attack bar by 25%. So it does the component that still relates to the rider, so we're probably going to see that's how it's always going to work through. So pretty interesting concept. Revengeful Thought, the third skill, the passive. Max HP will be decreased by 50%, so it's like Diners when they change it to human form. And attack speed by 15% will also be decreased. So your attack speed will go down by 15% whenever you dismount the beast. The inflicted damage on the enemy will increase by 100%. So you'll be doing double damage when you're without the beast. But you have half the HP and you lose 15% attack speed. So it honestly comes down to how much the speed scaling is. It looks like it's going to be very speed scaling dependent to be able to determine the effect of the skills or the overall damage output. So reading this, the fire one actually looks pretty nice. I wonder how the rest of them look. So we'll continue down. Let's go down to the water one. Spirit Protector, so the same first skill. I won't read that out again. Fast Link. So I wonder if this changes. Second skill. The faster your attack speed, the greater the damage becomes. Attacks the enemy with the beast 2 times. The beast attack weakens the enemy's defense for 1 turn. And the rider absorbs attack bar by 25% chance for each harmful effect. So it is pretty much the same attack bar. Sorry, the same skill as the fire. But the third skill is different. Start of attacking. Attacks the enemy with the beast 2 times. The beast attack removes all beneficial effects granted on the enemy, so it's single target strip. And the rider ignores the defense by 35% for each beneficial effect the beast removed. Okay, that's pretty big. So think about like the other units they brought. They brought out demons that ignore defense based on the amount of HP they have. Now they're bringing out ignore defense based on the amount of strip potential the unit has. So if the beast strips 3 buffs, it's pretty much full ignore defense. If it strips 2, it's 70%. Strips 1, it's 35%. So it's pretty powerful. Attacks the afterwards. The attack bar of all other allies will be increased up to 50% in proportion to the enemy's lost HP from the attack. So I assume if the enemy loses 100% HP, so you kill a unit, it'll give your entire team 50% attack bar. That is pretty insane. Pretty similar build, I would assume, on this one. Based on the beast form, it'll be like speed, crit damage, attack, probably, or maybe even speed, crit damage, HP. Again, these are probably going to be really fast-based units, so you're going to probably be running them pretty fast, because they are speed-based. Anyway, human form, or the hunter form, the one without the rider form, actually I should be calling it. Spear Protector is the same skill. Fast spear throw. The faster your attack speed, the greater damage becomes. Attacks the enemy to absorb attack bar, so pretty much the same as the fire one. Yep, that's why they called the same thing. The wind one's got a different second skill here, so we'll just skip over the first skill because it's exactly the same. The second skill is called Critical Link. The faster your attack speed, the greater the damage becomes. Attacks the enemy with the beast 2 times. The beast changes all beneficial effects to continuous damage. So, okay. So 1 continuous damage for 2 turns. So it's like Diana stripping and changing a buff to a one turn dot. And the rider's attack inflicts damage that increases by 15% for each harmful effect granted on the target. Okay. So it depends on what the base scaling of this skill is. It'll determine if it's worthwhile. This one seems kind of lackluster compared to the fire and water so far, but let's see what the third skill says. Gigantic Roar. The rider increases the attack speed of all allies by 2 turns, and the beast attacks all enemies. Weakens the defense, enemy's defense for 2 turns, and if the enemy's defense is lower than your attack power. So you obviously run these on very high attack, and if the enemy has lower attack than you, you'll armor break him. And sets the enemy's attack bar to 0 if the enemy's attack speed is slower than yours. So if you're running a really fast, high attack, you'll actually armor break and reduce their attack bar to 0. This will actually be pretty good for arena offense. I assume you'll probably see these on like to counter Tian Langs on defense potentially. So it might be like a Tiana strip or a Trident strip straight into this Wind Rider, or the Wind Beast Rider. So it'll be pretty interesting. I think that's where we might see some of these being used. To push the attack bar down to 0 means Tianlang does not get set up for his play, so that could be something that we might see. Alright, so the Wind Rider form is Spear Protector, which is the same as first. Critical Spear Throw. The faster your attack speed, the greater damage becomes. Attacks the enemy to inflict damage that increases for 15%. So it's pretty much the second component of the skill always, based on what we're seeing so far. So it does extra damage based on the number of harmful effects. Okay. I don't know how much it's going to scale by. There are a lot of units that already do this sort of stuff. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what their multiplier is. Alright. Light ones. So this is the ones that are always hard to obtain. So let's see. Spear of Protector has not changed throughout any of this. So we're going to skip over that. Critical Link. So that's the same with the strip. Okay, we'll skip over that. So there is a passive for the light one. I love when there's passives here. The attack speed increases by 35% for each time an enemy gains a turn. Up to 5 times. Okay, so that sounds pretty crazy. So 35 by 5, that is 175% extra attack speed. So think about how Lumel works, guys. So Lumel's the new dimensional area, the dimensional hole area. And every time you move, the boss gains attack speed. But now you've got a unit that's now very similar, who gains attack speed for every time an enemy moves, but does damage based on attack speed as well. That is pretty crazy. So it also at the end of it, the increased attack speed resets when your turn ends. So whenever you get a turn, boom, back down to 0. In addition, decreases the enemy's attack bar by 30% with each attack. So you hit him, boom, 30% attack bar pushback. Okay, and it's automatic effect, so therefore it won't actually have a cooldown on this skill, I don't believe. So what's going to happen is every time your turn ends, if the enemy moves, so it's pretty much stopping monsters being able to move a lot, because what's going to happen is you're going to cut them. You're going to go from, let's say you build it on speed, crit damage, attack, 240 speed. It's going to give you an extra 175% attack speed if they move if there's 5 turns before you move. and your damage scales off attack. That's going to be absolutely insane. All right, let's see the I'm going to call it human form for lack of a choice of words. So it's going to be the same as the second skill. The first skill hasn't changed. Revengeful Thought's been the same thing all the way throughout, so that's why I haven't repeated it. Attacks the enemy to inflict damage based on 15% of harmful effects. So same, that hasn't changed. And it is also based on attack speed. So I feel like this is where it's a very powerful unit. Because with the scale, well, obviously the wild chase passive falls off when you turn into human form, so you won't actually have that much of an impact compared to, let's say, being on the beast. So critical link will be very powerful because the wild chase passive will be pretty big. Being in human form won't be that big. Okay, interesting. Dark. Okay, the dark one. So Spear of Protector, that's the same as all the others. Doesn't change. Fast Link. So this is pretty much armor breaks and attacks, absorbs the attack bar as well. Okay, is that the only one that's like that? Let's have a look. Critical link, fast link. Okay, so it's the same as the water one. Okay, same as the water one and same as the fire one. Okay, so it goes back to the two I really liked. So armor breaks for 1 turn and absorbs attack bar by 25% for each harmful effect granted on the enemy. So most of the time it's going to push it back by 25% because you're going to grant. I wonder if it applies the armor break and then does the absorption, because that'd be pretty interesting to note. For each harmful effect, so you can steal all their attack bar. You can end up with another turn. So pretty much you can almost go into second skill AOE into a first skill if you're able to land that armor break, I assume. Alrighty, so late night ambush attacks all enemies with the beast 2 times. The beast attacks set the enemy's attack bar to 0, and the rider attacks inflicts damage that increases up to 100% in proportion to the attack bar that's been that the beast decreased. So it could do double damage AOE if it pushes all the attack bar to 0 if they had full attack bar. Wow, okay. That's a pretty powerful skill depending on how much it scales for as well. But these units are coming out, that's going to be all attack bar manipulation as well. So this is kind of fitting straight into the current RTA meta, which is pretty insane because this is now all about attack bar manipulation, which is, it seems like the path they still want to head down. Alright, so what's changes with the second skill? Fast, Spear, Throw. It's pretty much the same as the skill before. Absorbs attack bar by 25% for each harmful effect granted on the enemy up to 100%. Okay, that's about it. So it's the same as the Fire and Water. So I think the ones to look out for here, Fire, Water, Dark, I really like, based on the fact that it's all about attack bar control. Wind, I really like for our arena offense. Light is very interesting as well. So when it comes to Light, it's going to be massive speed scaling damage. I think these are all going to have some sort of impact. None of them look really that lackluster, except for potentially the Wind. But I think we might see a lot of these impact the meta almost straight away, depending on what, depending on the summoning rates that we see earlier on. So I would really like to see one of these in action. I'd really like one of these for myself. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But that's the monsters covered, guys. So the next section is going to be coming off the rest of the patch. So what else are they doing? The rank menu has been added to Dimensional Lumel. Okay, cool. They can check based on clear records. Hopefully that shows the monster deck as well. So you can actually now have a look and see what people are running in Lumel to give you an idea about what teams you can build. So that's going to be pretty cool because I still haven't locked down my own Lumel team. I've been still doing Elusius skill ups. But once I finish off those, I'm not too far away now. I'm going to be jumping straight into this area and starting to farm those runes. Guild shop related items. Okay, I like looking at these because I like guild content. So Mysterious Rune Box, which is the cheaper rune box. The chance of getting rare runes have been reduced, and the chance of getting hero higher and higher has been increased by the reduced rate. So they haven't disclosed how much it's changed by. Legendary Rune Box and Mysterious Rune Box, they changed the amount you can buy as well as the price. Okay. So before we only be able to buy 1 Legendary Rune Box per 7 days and 1 Mysterious Rune Box 3 of those per week. So now you can buy 7 a month and 15 a month respectively, and the price has gone from 600 to 500 for legendaries and Mysterious from 400 to 300. So that'll be pretty interesting. I don't know if that changes how much I want to buy it. I bought the Legendary Rune Box quite a few times, but the fact that it drops 5 and 6 stars, it hasn't really tempted me. I've never really gotten anything good out of it. I think I'm going to continue to buy scrolls and go that way. User convenience improvement. So UI changes. Let's have a look. So you can make your monsters stay in the transformation form. So this currently impacts ponies, druids, it'll now impact the Beast Riders. Yeah, so that's what it means. It means you can stay in the other form that it has available to them. So, okay, cool. I guess it depends on how you want to show them on your island. Okay, rune power up. The UI has been improved, so the quantity of grindstone and enchanted gems with the same grade and property will be summed and displayed together in the enhancement screen. So in the rune power up screen, not the storage space. That's kind of disappointing. So I think the main issue we're all currently seeing right now is when you go through your grind storage, it kind of singly it shows each grind and gem separately. We're kind of hoping they would start stacking in there, but I mean, this is a start. I guess we'll start seeing them all stacked up together and shown as one lump now when you're looking at rune power, but it's kind of, they missed the point. I hope they go back and revisit and they start stacking it in our inventory, not just from a power up perspective. Okay. Unless I'm wrong. Unless I'm reading that wrong. Siege battle. A notification will be made when you have used all battle attempts or have rewards to collect after a siege battle is over. So I assume that's going to be like a pop-up or something saying that, hey, like maybe like an alert, you know how you get the exclamation mark through a chat and says, okay, siege is finished. Maybe something like that to let you know when you can collect all your stuff. Inbox. A UI that displays the total quantity of the in-game currency. So it might go like, let's have a look at the rest. At the inbox has been added. Target in-game currencies, energy crystals, and items that can be accumulated in-game. So maybe it's just going to tell you a total sum of how many crystals, how many energy, how much, whatever else there is. It'll just start summing up all those and go, okay, you've got 1,000 energy, you've got 15,000 crystals if you're buying packs. It may be even collecting summoning stones. It might say you've got 500 summoning stones sitting in there you can collect, and so on. So let's see. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how it actually comes out. But I assume that's what they mean. Pretty cool. Good to know how much energy you got in there, how much you can burn. Like, you know, you can give your guildies a heads up when you're doing BJ5, for example. Go, okay, I've got like 500 energy in my storage that I can burn, so I'm down to do runs with you for a while. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Don't know how much of a change that makes. I was really hoping we'd see stackable grinds and gems now in our rune storage so we can see how much we got. But let's just see in case maybe it's a translation difference. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, that's going to do us for this patch update. Hope you guys enjoyed what you saw in this video. If you did, please hit that like button. If you got any questions, please leave a comment below. And if you want to see more of my content in the future, guys, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys later, guys. Take care and goodbye.